Namaste. Welcome to another yoga class. I haven't been here for a while, but now we're back together again. For this class, the props that you would probably want to have are a block. If you want to use two blocks when both arms are on the floor, 2 blocks, 2 cans of stewed tomatoes, 2 rolls of toilet paper, whatever you have. The other thing is I want to do a little bit of shoulder opening for people who spend a lot of time on the computer, as we all are. So I'm just using a length of cloth here. So you could use a tie, a necktie, length of cloth, whatever you would like. And so just turn off the video for a moment and go and collect those things. And then we'll get started. So now, if you have everything you need in terms of props, what you need to be comfortable, take a seat on the floor. If you automatically always cross one leg in front, maybe try sitting in the beginning just with the other leg crossed. And then rock a little side to side so you're really sitting up on your hips. And just take your hands for a moment and just use your fingers to just kind of roll the legs open. And I have my thumb massaging the hip joint. And then just let your eyes close or let them just lower to the floor. And just press gently, pressing your hips toward the floor and maybe using your thumbs to massage the back of the hip joint there. So a lot of us have been doing a lot of walking, which is good, but it also tightens things up in the legs and the hips. So just take a moment, letting your breath soften and letting your hand massage right at the hip joint there, pressing the thumb gently into the hip joint. And then keeping the eyes closed or resting on the floor, let your hands just come and rest on your legs and come into your breathing, just letting your mind focus on your practice by coming into the breath. And feeling the lips just lightly touching. Feel a little bit like you're leaning back a little bit so that you're really up over your hips. So you'll feel the lower abdominal area begin to engage. And then think about the breath in the side of your body. So as you breathe in, you're not feeling it so much in your chest as you're trying to send it to the area on the side of your body. And you don't need to force it, but just become more aware, and gradually you'll find that you can feel the lungs expanding and contracting and feel the floating ribs begin to move a little as you breathe in and to release a little as you breathe out. Letting the palms be very quiet. So really not pulling on the legs at all on your knees with your hands, even sliding your hands back a little bit so they're flat on the top of your leg. And then lifting your head to the sky, tucking the chin just a little bit to let the back of the neck open up. And then let the breath begin to expand. Letting your exhale and your inhale equalize. So you're not over breathing in and you're not over breathing out. You're keeping them in a steady pace. So 4 breaths in and then 4 breaths out. And then maybe 4, count of 5 coming in. Count of 5 going out. Let the count be slow. Staying with 5 or maybe going up to 6, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't let it strain you, and then pause. And breathe out just as many counts. Letting your mind slow down with your breath. Try that one more time. At the end of the exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Feeling your thumbs right in the center of your breastbone. So you feel that sense of the elbows lifting up a little, the shoulders rolling back a little bit, and then tipping your head, letting your eyes open to your fingertips, and releasing your hands to the floor, and then taking the arms up overhead, turn the palms out so the shoulders can open up. So try not to throw the ribs forward. Just stay right over your hips, but look up and let your arms be as if they were pushing the inside of a door. So you could try sitting in your doorway even sometimes and just doing this to let the shoulders release. And then keeping that sense of the shoulders releasing, bringing your head to level, and then look down at your legs, but keep the back nice and straight. And then inhale your gaze forward and release the arms down. And just move the props out of the way and come onto your hands and knees. And then separate your hands shoulder width apart and separate the knees so they feel like they're a little too wide apart. And then press your hips back so you're sitting back toward your heels. You don't need to sit all the way onto your heels, but feel that stretching back, and then walk your handprint ahead, and then press down gently with your hands. Try not to pull the shoulders up by the ears, just let them rest, and let your head just slowly come down so the top of your head is pointing to your thumbs. You're not trying to bend the neck, crook the neck all the way to the floor. And then push the floor away with your hands and take that into your lower back and stretch it. One more breath. And then inhale up onto the hands and knees. And now walk your knees so they're just under your hips. And take the right leg and stretch it back. And you rock a little back and forth, opening up the calf. And also rolling over the toes so you get some motion into the foot. And then come back so you're just right over your arms and lift that leg up, and you'll feel your abdominals begin to work. Flex the foot as if you were going to push it against a wall. And that's another practice you can do on your own, just pushing the foot against the wall and lifting a little in the belly up to the ribs so that the ribs aren't sagging in the back at all. Back is nice and straight. One more breath here. And then bend the knee and round the back lightly and bring the knee up to your chest and hold it there. So now you're going to engage the abs a little more. You can let your chin release, or you could look just a little bit ahead of your hands. Hold the knee up there, breathe in and out, and then place that knee down on the floor and come back to level. Take the left leg, curl the toes under, rock it back and forth, opening up the back of the leg and opening up the bottom of the foot. So really roll over your toes. Don't cut out that part of it. Really get the top of your foot moving. And then come back so you're over your shoulders. Lift the belly to the spine, flattening the back, engaging the ribs, engaging the abs. Lift the left leg, pushing the left foot toward the back of the room. Press the top of the back of your head toward the ceiling. Push down into the floor. Soften the breath, but keep the breath going. Try to relax the right top of the right foot along the floor. And then bend the left knee in, inhaling, lifting that knee up to your chest, letting your head, if you want, drop nose toward the knee, or keeping the head just a little bit engaged on the back. Lift that knee a little bit higher to bring the abs into it, and then place the knee down. And now bring your knees close together and push the hips back toward the heels. One more time, just opening the back, and then inhale forward and come down onto your elbows and let your head drop so you're looking back at your knees, and then lift your head up and feel that stretch your back a little bit. And then curl the toes under, press down on your arms, and you're just going to lift your knees away from the floor. They might not even leave the floor, but feel that engaging in the abs and lifting the knees up, pressing the arms down. Spread the toes, and then slowly begin to straighten your legs a little bit and let your head look back at your feet. And then bring your knees down, look down between your elbows, and walk your hands back so your toes are still curled under and you're sitting up on your heels. And then take the arms up to the sky and exhale them back behind you, and put the right thumb on top, interlace the hands, and then just lift up on your knees, so that'll relieve your feet a little bit, but keep the toes curled. Roll the shoulders back, and then look gently up at the ceiling and try to reach down toward your heels so you're moving your arms out from your body, just looking gently up, not craning the neck, and stretching the arms open. And then release the arms, look forward, sit down on the heels and stretch the toes again. Inhale the arms up to the top, come up on the knees, Exhale your hands behind you, left thumb on top. Roll the shoulders open, but try not to throw the ribs forward. Just roll the shoulders and then look up at the sky and reach gently down toward your heels. So let your hands leave the back of your body a little bit so it opens up. And then inhale up to the top and bring your hands down to the floor and rock over as close as you can get to a squat, and then rock forward, bringing your knees to the floor. And then rock back into the squat, and then roll the knees forward. So you're massaging your feet and you're opening your lower back. And then coming back onto your feet, bring your hands so that you can, up on the fingertips, so you can begin to stretch your legs a little bit bent, leaning over the thighs, move your head side to side, and then slowly begin to roll up to the top, lifting the arms up to the sky, exhaling back behind you, inhaling up, and exhaling hands to your sides. And now take your band, your yoga band, your tie, whatever you have, piece of fabric, little towel. Separate the feet about hip distance apart so you've got a good presence on the floor. And if you're on your mat, you might just have your feet right hip width apart on the mat. And then bring the belt up and let your hands slide a little bit wide on it so that you can pull it back behind you without having to arch your back. So just reach it back behind you, let the hands keep sliding out till you can get it to go maybe all the way down to the back. And then inhale it up, so you need a pretty long belt, and then bring it down to the front. And then take it again, up to the top, and down to the back, and then up to the top, and down to the front. And now narrow your grip, so you have a little bit less fabric between your hands, and take the arms so they're overhead, wider than your shoulders, and tip over to the right. And so you're going to go the opposite way from me because I'm not mirroring you. And then up to the top, and over to the left, and then up to the top, and now go over to the right and pull up on the left arm a little and try to straighten your arms, and then up to the top, inhale, exhaling over to the other side, inhaling up to the top, and then let that band slide out to the ends again, and bring it one more time behind you, and one more time up and over. And then just let go of the band and just shrug your shoulders a couple of times or wiggle them around, take them up and down. And then come to the front of the mat and we'll stretch out the legs in the same way. So separate the feet about as wide as your hips, and then let your belly lift, your tailbone release, shoulders open, head to the sky, and then just bring your hands to your heart center, establish your base. And then on an exhale, release the arms, and then inhale them up overhead, looking up to the sky, and then exhaling, bending the knees so you can reach down to the floor, letting the top of your head release, and then inhaling up to the flat back, maybe bringing the hands up the legs a bit, and then exhaling, bending the knees, folding over. 2 more times on that. Inhaling up to the fingertips or fingertips to the legs, and then exhaling, bending the knees, going down. And now inhaling up, and this time stay up either on your fingertips or your hands on your legs, and let your chest go up really parallel to the floor, and then take your hands to your hips, just like we did sitting, and push the hips back, and then press them down as you lift up, and inhale up to the sky, and exhale back behind you, and then inhale up and exhale over again into the forward fold, releasing the head, releasing the knees a little. And then this time look forward, bring your hands back by your feet, and take your right leg back behind you. And then wiggle it back so you're not leaning with your heel behind the toe, but trying to get it up above the toe. And then drop the knee down to the floor, and lift a little in the belly, and lift in the chest, and look forward just as far as you can go. So you might be looking a little bit on a diagonal. And then look up with the leg and look down in front of your foot. And then inhale again, drop the knee and look forward. And then exhale, come into the lunge. And then in the lunge, if you want to put your hand on the block, that's fine, even on the low block or on the floor. Open the left arm up and feel the right shoulder. Wiggle it around, let it open up. And you're trying to get the back leg so it's not drooping, so it's straight and strong, and turning the chest a little to the sky, and then lifting a little in the belly, tuck the tail so the lower back is stretching out. One more breath here, and then bring your hand down, bring your knee down, place the block on the other side so you have it there if you want, and then bring the left leg next to the right leg, toes curled under, press the hips to the heels, and then inhale forward, flatten the feet, and exhale all the way down to the ground. Pull your elbows in toward your sides, press on the floor, stretch the legs nice and long, so try not to let the legs just relax. Keep pressing on the tops of the feet, and then inhale up into the Cobra, and exhale down to the bottom. Pull the elbows back again, lengthen the neck, and on the next inhale, up into the Cobra, and exhale down again. And this time we'll go to down dog. So inhale up to the Cobra, curl your toes under, and press the hips back into the down dog, bending one knee, bending the other, wiggling your hips around. You can let yourself really wiggle around here. Let your head wiggle around and open the body. And now we're going to bring the left leg forward. So you're going to bring your shoulders forward and bring the left leg forward. Drop the right leg down. Inhale up, so we're on the same side, but we're taking it a little bit higher. Exhale, reach behind you. And then inhale up and over, lifting the back knee. Step the right leg forward. Exhale into the forward fold. Come just to the flat back. Come halfway up. And then exhale down. And then inhale the left leg back behind you. And now wiggle the toes back so your heel is coming up over your toes. So you're stretching the bottom of your foot. And then drop the knee down and lift and look forward with the chest. And then exhale, lift the knee and take the gaze down. Inhale, drop the knee, take the gaze forward. Exhale, lift the knee and look down. Really straighten the back leg. Maybe move your left hand onto the block and open the right arm up. And now feel like you're lifting your left hip. So you're trying to not let the left side of the back sink. And just turning to the sky. Spread the toes on the foot that's on the floor there. Push down on the front foot. Lift in the heart. One more breath. And then bring your hand down. Move the block out of the way. Drop the left knee to the floor. Bring the right foot back. Stretch the hips to the heels. And then inhale forward and exhale all the way down to the floor. Coming up on your elbows, walk your hips back, so one leg at a time. Just get the back so it's nice and open, and then open your feet to the back corner of your mat. And then pull up in the chest and press down on the arms, and then try to slide yourself forward, so literally pressing on the floor. One more breath here. And now, turn your hands a little bit wide. So flip them out to the side and lift the elbows up a little bit. And take that into the mid-back. And then try to stretch the legs. So you're not scrunching the glutes, but you're just stretching the bottoms of your feet to the back corners of your mat. Lift the chest a little bit higher. And then exhale down. Bring the hands under the shoulders. Inhale up in the Cobra. Exhale back to the downward facing dog. Pound the feet a little bit. Wiggle the hips around. And then you're going to bring the right foot forward again. Drop the left knee down to the floor. Inhale all the way up. Arcing back there. And then lifting up. Bringing the hands beside your front foot. Lift the back knee. And step forward again. Releasing your head. Cross your arms, bend the knees a little bit. You could separate the feet a little more if you want. Sway side to side. Feel that back beginning to open up. Release the back of the neck. Change the fold of the arms. Sway a little bit side to side. And then release your hands and slowly inhale up to the top, bringing the arms up by your ears. Exhaling, leaning back behind. Inhaling up. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Close your eyes and let your breath settle. And then releasing the hands, opening the eyes, and coming back so you're standing on your mat. And you can keep the block on the left side here. So now bring the hands to the heart center again. Take a breath in, release it down, and really swing your arms up, and then exhale back behind and reach, bend the knees a little, and then inhale up and reach straight forward and exhale down to the floor, bending the knees a little, inhaling halfway up, exhaling down, stepping the right foot back, bend the left foot and put the right foot solidly on the floor. Then walk your hands up onto your left leg and see if you can really come up between the legs. Push down and put your hand on your right hip. Press that hip down. And now take your right hand across to the outside of your left leg. Take your left arm up. So you're twisting a little toward the front. You feel that resistance. Bend the front knee and then release the right arm up by the ears. Warrior one, Vira one. Tuck the tail so you stabilize your base and lean back behind you, looking gently up at the ceiling, opening the back, straightening the arms. Keep the breath going, and then inhaling up, bringing your hands down to the floor. Take the block under your left arm, or fingertips to the floor, or raise the block a little bit higher, because we're going to straighten the front leg and come into the triangle, bringing your hand to your hip on the right side. And now try to stretch the left leg nice and straight, so you're stretching the top of it, not behind the knee. So you open up the top of the leg from all that walking. Then take your right arm and make a big circle up by your nose and all the way back and reach behind you. And then take it down, look down at the front foot, circle the arm up and take it all the way behind you. Third time's the trick. Bring it down, open it up, all the way up, and this time stop at the peak, at the crest, and feel you're pulling the left hip back, pressing the right foot into the ground, pressing the left foot into the ground, softening both shoulders so you feel the shoulder blades come together on the back. One more breath. Then look down at the floor, press on both feet, let go of the block, and inhale yourself up to the top. And then bend the front knee and take the back foot and turn it out a little more. So that's you can take it even deeper and go down into the warrior two. So now, if your knee starts going way forward of the ankle, you can walk the back foot back further and really get that shoulder, that right shoulder reaching to the back, bending the front knee, turning the hand to the sky, lift up, bringing the left arm up by your ear, not your nose, and reaching the right arm down the right leg, and then push on the left heel and bend the left leg a little more, and then turn your chest a little more to the sky. Soften the breath a little bit, press down on the feet, and then keeping the lower body stable. Looking over into the warrior again, lifting up into the warrior, straightening the front leg, turn the back foot in a little bit, and come back down into your triangle. Maybe you can do it without the block, or take the block to a little bit stronger setting, a little bit lower setting. Just see what makes you comfortable. One more breath. And then bend the front knee, bring your front hand down to the floor, place both hands on the floor, and step the left leg next to the right leg. And you can either be in full plank or knees on the floor plank. If you're in knees on the floor plank, lift the belly so that the back is nice and flat. Wherever you are, lift the back of your head, spread your fingers, spread your toes, push down on the right foot or the right knee and lift the left leg a little bit. Then bring the left leg down, push down on the left leg or the left knee, lift the right leg up a little bit, bring it down, and then exhale the whole body down to the floor. Taking your hands, come up again into the Sphinx pose, walking your legs back a little so your back is nice and open, and then turn the hands a little bit to the side on an angle, and stretch the back again. Looking up to the sky, lifting the belly So you're lifting the belly to create some resistance there. And then exhale down to the floor. And either hands right under the shoulders for Cobra or a little bit farther behind for Up Dog. So if you're doing Up Dog, your hands are going to pull the elbows back, push into the floor, and your shoulders are coming over your wrists. And maybe your knees even lift off the floor, or maybe the bottom part of the leg rests on the floor. And then exhale all the way back down again. Stretch your back so your nose goes farther ahead on the floor. And then inhale into the Up Dog or the Cobra. And then exhale back down to the floor. And this time we're going to inhale and go into the Down Dog. So inhale up, and then either press up over your feet or curl your toes and push your hips back. Walk your hands a little bit forward now. See if you can challenge your Down Dog to start to be a little deeper so that you're really pushing your shoulders back toward your hips back, the heels, lift them off the ground, and then exhale them toward the ground. Top of the head toward the thumb, so you're not dipping your head. Inhale up on the tippy toes, and then exhale back. Soften the shoulders, pull the shoulder blades to the middle of the back, press the hands onto the floor. Lifting the left leg up, keep the toe facing the floor, and then turn the toe to the side and lift the leg a little higher, and then bend at the knee and try to push your foot against the right side of the room. Lifting the left knee up, stretching the right leg, press down on the hands, try not to twist to the left, and then stretch the leg straight and bring it back down. Bend the knees down to the floor, stretch back into extended child's pose. Inhale forward, hands over the wrists, back into the plank, and into the downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg up, toes toward the floor. Turning the toes to the side, lifting the hip, but keeping the chest facing the floor. Bend the right knee, lifting the whole right shin up to the sky from the hip joint. Looking down between your elbows, not back at your toes. One more breath, and now this time you're going to straighten the right leg, look forward, and you're going to sweep the right leg forward. So bend that left leg, bring that right leg forward, help it forward if you need to. Place the left foot on the floor, and inhale up into the Warrior One. Bringing your hands up by your ears, bending the front knee. If it goes in front of the ankle, you can move the back foot back a little. If it's way behind the ankle, move the back foot forward. Then lift in the belly. So take the arch out of the lower back and arch the upper back from the shoulder blades into the back, reaching back. Let your hands maybe open a little wide so you can get a little more of that arching back feeling. Tuck the chin so you don't hurt the back of your neck. Bend the front knee, and then inhale up and bring your hands down to the floor, switching the block to the right hand. Placing your left hand on the hip, straighten the right leg. So adjust the block so it's under your shoulder and so you can get this right leg really straight, even if it means all the way up on the block. And then pushing the lower back long, turn to the side, and take the left arm, and you're going to sweep it all the way forward, up to the sky. Try to follow it with the corner of your eyes, back to the hips. And then down to the floor, look at your front foot. Inhale it up to the sky and reaching back. One more time, down to the floor. Inhale it up and reach the peak there, right at the top, right at the zenith. Pull the right hip into place. So try not to sink over to the left. Let it really lift up. And then press down on your feet, open your chest, push down on your feet, lighten the grip with your right hand, look down at your right foot, inhale up to the top, and now turn the left foot out a little more, bend the right leg, maybe you separate the feet a little more, and try not to stick your hips way out. Try to pull the right hip underneath, and pull both arms parallel. So you have to pull back a little on the left shoulder, press down on the front foot, turn the right palm to the ceiling, and reverse that warrior. Keep weight in the heel of the front foot. Take that arm not to your nose, but open the shoulder. So now you can see that side of my body. You really want to open that shoulder. And then press on the front foot, soften your breath so you can hold the position.
Press down strong into the legs. And then keeping the legs nice and strong, come back up into the warrior again. Straighten the front leg, turn the back foot in a little bit, and sweep down to your block, maybe lowering it, ascending, maybe bringing your fingertips to the floor, and then turning and opening into the triangle, feeling that back just open up, nice and strong. One more breath, and then bend the front knee, bring your hands to the floor, come up on the back toe, and step the back foot forward, exhaling over in the forward fold, inhaling up to the sky, exhaling, reaching behind you, inhaling up, exhaling, hands to the heart. Close the eyes, take a breath. Open the eyes, release your arms, and now take your block and you're going to put it right next to your right foot. So you can adjust the height as you go. Take your hands to your hips and step the right foot back, and it's not very turned out. You're trying to keep your hips straight to the front. Don't be such a tiny step that there's no stretch involved. Take a little risk and go back there, but feel that your hips can turn to the front. And then taking your hand on your left hip, take the right arm up and exhale over, reaching down for the block. If you have to bend the front leg to reach the block, then take the block up higher. If it's very easy, put it down lower. So now you're looking a little bit ahead of your foot and you're pushing your weight into your back foot. Let your weight slide back and then let your weight slide forward. You could put your hand on your lower back to feel the belly lift to the spine. Shift the weight to the back foot, and now bring your weight right in between the 2 feet, and take your block, put your weight on your block, bring it in a little bit closer if you feel comfortable with it, otherwise keep it out to the side. And then you're going to twist to the left, and you're going to take your left hand and reach it all the way up to the top of your head. And then circle it up, and try to circle it all the way to the back, and then look down at the floor, and now as you circle it up, it may not go straight up and down. It may go a little bit of an angle. You're trying to turn your chest all the way to the left. And then shift the weight a little bit into the right foot. Press down on both feet. Try to get both legs straight. If they won't straighten, lift the block a little bit higher. Keep on breathing. One more breath. And then bring your left hand around. Bend your left foot. Put the block on the left side so you can forget about it for now. And then bend the left foot, let your head relax. And now come up on your fingertips and start to try to straighten your front leg. It might stay a little bit bent, but just press it as close as you can get it to straight and let the top of your head point towards your toes. So you're looking at your shin, not at your belly button. And then shift the weight a little more into the right foot. Press down on the left foot. One more breath. Then looking forward, bring the right foot next to the left foot, right close together, and inhale up into a chair pose, keeping the knees bent. So pressing down on the feet, feel the knees going toward each other, not pulling out. Lift the ribs in, lengthen the back, bend the knees down, 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 down. Lift the chest up a little more. Press down on the feet, breathe in and out. Inhale up to the top. And exhale, hands to the side. And now you're ready to just put your hands on your hips and step the left foot back. You want it pretty much heel to heel. If you open it a little to the side, it's a little easier, but don't go farther than heel to heel. So find your spacing, place your hands on your hips, and now feel the right hand helping you anchor the right hip as the left arm goes up to the sky. And then you're reaching forward, bending the right knee a little if you need to get that left hand down, and then adjusting the block to the height that works best for your hips. With your hand on the block, press the right hip back so your hips begin to flatten to the sky. Press down on the right foot, and then just shift your weight a little bit to the left foot, shift it a little to the right. Then place it even between them and let your right hand go down and sweep it up and make a big full circle all the way around. And then bring it down, looking down, up by your ear, and then try to turn from the chest. So you're trying to get your arm to go up to the sky, not by turning the hand and twisting back, by having it up by your ear and then turning your chest. And reaching for the ceiling, maybe reaching on the diagonal. Depends on how your chest might be a little tight. Haven't been to the exercise classes as much. Press down on the feet. One more breath. Shift the weight a little more to the left foot. Push on the right foot. Shift a little to the right foot. Push on the left foot. Shift to the left foot. And bring that hand down, bending the right leg. Taking the block out of your way. Come onto both fingertips. And then begin to try to straighten the right leg and let the top of your head go to your big toe. So you're looking at your shin, not back up at the hips. And then shift the weight a little more into the left leg and then shift it a little bit to the right leg. It's pretty subtle. Shift it a little more to the left leg and then a little bit to the right leg. One more, shift to the left leg and then shift over the right leg. Walk your hands a little forward, bring the left leg forward, bend the knees, lift the chest and come into Utkatasana. Holding the Utkatasana, bring your hands to your heart center. Keeping the knees bent, twist the left elbow to the outside of the right leg and lift the elbow up. Try to lift the twist to the right, open the right shoulder. One more breath, then inhale to the center. And exhale over the left, trying to get those hips to go down, bend the knees, open the chest. One more breath. Inhale back to the center, stretch arms up, legs might be shaking a bit. Inhale up to the top and exhale, hands behind you. Inhale up, exhale, hands to the heart and release your hands. And now one more time, take your belt and see if we've gotten a little bit wider. So you're going to step your feet apart, turn the feet out a little bit, bend the knees, and if your knees are inside your toes, walk the feet closer. If you can take them a little farther, you're just going to press the knees back, and then you're going to take your belt up overhead, lift the belly, tuck the tail, bend the knees a little deeper, get the weight into the heels. Maybe you lift your toes up like an Indian statue, not the ball of your foot, just your toes. And then you're going to tip to the right. So I'm not mirroring you, so you're going the opposite way. Take weight in the left heel. Take a breath. Inhale up to the top and tip over to the other side. Tuck the tail under. Inhale up to the top. And now let the band go a little bit wider and bring your arms behind you and then up to the top and bring them down to the front. And you can just wrap the belt around your legs and forget about it and just bend the knees. And now turn the feet straight ahead. And they can be a little bit wide, okay? So maybe you can walk them out a little farther with them straight ahead. And then you're going to push on the left knee and bring the left shoulder toward the right knee. And then come back to the center and shift the left shoulder toward the left knee. Keep pushing down in the heels. So keep the legs strong. And then back to the center and straighten the legs. You could take your belt out of the way and then turn the toes out again. Bend the legs and come down to the fingertips to the floor. You might have to use your block here. Turn the heels, so now you step your feet a little, wiggle them a little farther apart, and then walk your hands so your hips feel like they're pushing a little bit back behind you. And now try to bend the knees and drop the hips and look right between your hands. And then walk your hands over to the right and start to straighten the left leg. See where that will go. Looking a little bit in front of you. Don't look back at your knees and your heels. Shift to the left. Holding it over there. Keep the weight in the heel of the left foot so you're not tipping forward. And then come back to the center. And now walk over to the right and turn the left heel up to the ceiling. For some people, this may be it. If you can walk your hands back a little bit
and bend. You might be able to come all the way down and squat into that heel. Maybe, maybe not. And then you're going to press down on the foot, lift up in the belly, bring the left foot to the floor, walk over to the left, turn the right toes to the ceiling. You may stay right here, or you might be able to slowly squat. It depends on how stretched out the back of your left leg is. And then bring those right toes up, and then rock back up to the center, hanging over the center. Let your head release. Try to straighten the legs and turn your hands either out to the side or all the way inside out. And then look back between your hands. Let your head release. Lift the belly to the spine. Maybe walk them back a little bit further. Maybe have a little bend in your knees. So you want to be comfortable but stretching. Try and get the weight on the full foot, not folding to the inside of the foot. One more breath here. And then reverse your hands, bring them back. Toe heel your feet to the center so they're about hip width apart. And then just let your arms dangle. Let your knees bend. And then slowly roll up to the top. Big breath in. Exhaling, hands to the heart. Close your eyes. And let your body just feel the energy running in circles here. Okay, so open your eyes. And now let's do a little bit of ab work and arm work and some relaxation. So come to the front of your mat and just stand hip width apart. Take a nice lift up to the sky again. Opening the back a little bit more, and then inhaling up and exhaling over into the forward fold, and then inhaling up to the flat back. And now bend your knees, place your hands on the floor, and you can either step your legs, or if you want to, you can push on your hands and try to hop. And you can either hop straight back, or hop, hop, and get back there to downward facing dog. Stretching back into the down dog, feeling the body a little more open than it was before. Pressing down on the hands. Feel that you're using your arms, you're lifting your upper arm up rather than bending at the elbows and sinking. So feel that loft in the upper arm, the tricep working, the back of the legs getting nice and stretched and open, breathing in and out. And then inhale forward and either come into a plank, or you could have your knees down, but feel the back is really full. And we're going to stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then everybody drop their knees. Push your hips back a little bit. And then inhale forward and lift, either just lifting the back or lifting right up into the plank. And then lifting, either pressing down on the left knee and lifting the right leg, or lifting the right knee. And breathing in and out, stretch that leg long. Breathe in and out. One more breath. Push into the floor, squeeze the floor with your fingers like you're going to pull it out. Bring the leg down and switch to the other side. Squeezing the floor, pulling up into the arms, up into the back, up into the ribs so that your whole body is supporting that leg. One more breath. And then bring it down, bend the knees, come all the way down onto the belly. Place your forehead on your hands and walk the legs back and let the back just open up. Wiggle the shoulders a little, let them open up. And now we're going to open up the legs a little more. So if it's hard for you to reach your leg, you're going to take your belt or your tie and just put it around the ankle. So that isn't very graceful. You just do it like that so you can reach the leg. If you can reach the leg already with your hand, just place your forehead on your left arm and reach the right hand back to the right ankle. And then stretch the leg back so that you can feel the front of the leg and the hip dropping into the floor, and just gently pull the heel, not toward the middle of your back, but toward the outside. So whether it's up high or down low, you're at the limit of your thigh stretch there. And just let that open up. And now relax the shoulders and press down on the right thigh and lift the left leg a little bit. And you'll feel the lower back. You're trying to lift the left leg nice and straight, just a little bit. You might just feel it lifting away from the floor rather than up from the floor. And then release it down. And now maybe turn a little to the right and see if you can bring your hand over your foot and pull the foot in a little farther, or just keeping it on the outside, pulling the foot in a little bit farther. And then lifting your head up. You can wiggle your elbow in and try to lift up in the chest a little bit. That'll pull it open a little more. And then release it slowly. Bring the right hand forward. Let your forehead rest on your right hand. Reach back for your left leg. And just hold the ankle there. And then stretch the leg back. So feel from your ribs all the way to your knee. Nice opening there. Relax the shoulders so that they can stretch open. And then press down on the thighs. You pull the leg in. And maybe see if you can lift the right leg a tiny bit off the floor. Just press at the hip bone into the floor. And then release it. And now bend, lift your head up a little and see if you can bend the elbow a little more. If your shoulder won't let you do that, keep it on the hand on the outside of the leg or the belt around the leg. And then you're just going to pull the leg gently in, relaxing your back, and again lifting up in the right leg from the middle of the hip. So feel that your ab muscles are helping you. You're not just bending at the knee and lifting the ankle. You're lifting the whole leg up and pressing the whole left leg down, and then release it down. And now come up on the elbow, and let's take it again on that side. Bring the elbow in close, reach back, pull the leg in. So I think I may have skipped this before. Just pull the leg in. And now shift your grip. You can either hold the outside of the ankle, or if your shoulder is more open, you can hold the inside of the ankle. And then you're going to let your right arm reach forward like we did earlier. Lift the elbow up and push that foot into the arm. Keep the right hip on the ground. Try not to roll over to the left. And then lift the chest up. Press the foot into the arm. Open it up. And then lift the thigh. It'll only lift a crack. Just a tiny bit of pencil's distance up. And then release it down. Wiggle your hips a little and switch to the other side. Reaching back, pulling the leg in, and then flexing a little at the ankle. You can come to the inside of the ankle if your shoulder will allow you, and then lifting up, stretching the left arm forward, lifting up, pushing the right foot back and the right thigh into the floor. See if you can lift from the thigh. So the left thigh might not leave the floor. You just feel the energy of it stretching back and lifting the chest. One more breath. And then release it down. Let your head rest on your hands and just windshield wiper the legs side to side. And then lengthen your legs out. Bring your hands under your shoulders, lift up. And then open the knees wide and bring the toes close together and walk your hips back. And just let the elbows rest on the floor. And then maybe your head comes to the floor, or you can put your block under your head. And just let that back open up from that. One more breath. And then walk up. So you're sitting up on your heels. If it's hard to sit on the heels, put a block right between your feet and sit on the block. And then taking just an easy twist out. Left hand to right leg. Right hand behind you, look over the right shoulder. Let the back be very full. Try not to arch away from it. Really feel that you're filling the back. You can even cue yourself by putting your hand on your waist and lower back. One more breath and then come back and switch to the other side, placing the hand on the lower back or on the floor, but not letting the back stretch forward, letting it just open out, turning your head a little bit over your shoulder. One more breath. And then back to the center. And then bring your feet together and come onto your hands and knees and come down onto your elbows. When you're on your elbows, you can adjust, you want your fingertips just to reach your elbows. And then your hands go straight out in front of you. And then lift the ribs up so the back isn't arching. And then you're going to resist that by lifting your head, so you're not looking back at your knees. Curl your toes under, press down on your arms, and see if you can lift up to straight legs. So you really want your shoulders over your elbows. Now if you want to add more challenge, you can walk your feet in so your shoulders are under your hips. So they're not coming forward, they're under your hips. So if that doesn't happen for you, then keep the feet wider out. So you walk in as high as your side body stretch will allow you and your shoulders will allow you, and then try to lift your head a little and press your arms into the floor, and then you're going to push down on the left foot and let the right foot lift up. Might not go very far, but your goal is to get it up, 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 up. Press down on the forearms, look a little bit between your arms. One more breath, and then bring the right foot down. Push down on the right foot, lift, let the left foot lift. So you're using your back and your abs, everything in coordination, pressing down on the arms, so the triceps and the forearms are coming into it. Press down on the foot, one more breath, stretch the leg very straight, and then bring that down. Woo! Bend your knees to the floor, and just sit up on your heels, and just shake the hands out, shake your shoulders out. Okay. So let's do a dolphin now to get a little more ab work in. So for the dolphin, it's the same principle. The closer your feet are, the more you lift your hips up and the harder it gets. So begin just bringing the elbows to the floor, knees are hip width apart, cross the fingers so you can see that they reach elbow to elbow, and then interlace your hands. One thumb, for me the left thumb wants to always be on top. If you want to use the opposite thumb, it makes it a little harder, a little mentally harder. And then look at your wrists. Try not to let the wrists, the thumbs collapse in toward each other. So you want it to be a nice, open, straight space there. Then lift the back. So the back is probably arched while you're getting into the position. You want to lift the back, curl the toes under, and now what you don't want to do is move your head to your thumbs yet. You want to keep your shoulders over your elbows and lift the hips up. If it's too hard, walk them out a little bit. If you can get your hips up, walk your legs in with that. You could drop your head while you bring your legs in, and then take the head forward. So if that's too hard when the head's forward, move the legs back again. Now we're going to go back and forth 8 times. So take a break if you need it. So we're going to inhale and bring the chin toward the thumbs and the knuckles, and then exhale, press back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, press back. Arms and abs together. Inhale forward, pressing back. Inhale forward, halfway there. Inhale forward, pressing back down into the floor. Inhale forward, 2 more to go back. Inhale forward, pressing back. And last one, keep those wrists separated. Exhale back, bring the knees down, and sit back and come up again. And take the arms and make a nice lollygag arm motion here. You can take one wrist and you can just bend the wrist in and then bend it back. And take the other wrist, bend it in, bend it back. Interlace your hands, stretch them up overhead, turn the head a little bit side to side, and bring it back down. And now we'll do one more back bend, working with either your feet or a block. So you can have your feet flat, that's the most difficult. Heels curled under, that's less difficult. And this to make it a little bit higher than your foot. So I'll work with my heels curled under. Again, lengthen the back. And now we've got everything opened up. So anchor your hip with your left hand and take the right arm and follow it around and bring it right down to the right heel, to the block, and then turn to the front. Take the left arm up and then press your thighs forward over your knees. So that may mean that it's harder to touch your heel. You may need the block. And then open it up, open it up, open it up. And then press on your feet, lift with the abs, circle the arms up to the top, and exhale them down. Right hand to the hip, inhale the left arm up. Look where you're going. Decide where you're going to put your hand. Pick a distance that's reasonable. And then turn to the front, press the thighs forward, release the right arm, lift and drop that shoulder. Try not to fold it towards your nose. Let it open, 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 open. Tuck the chin a little so you support your head with the back of your neck. Pressing down on the knees. One more breath, and then push on the knees. Lift that arm up. Woo! And come onto the hands and knees and round into a cat back, and just hold that cat back. Turn your head side to side and come back one last time. So taking both arms at once, you can place your hands on your hips, lengthen the back. Turn your arms out so the shoulders go open, and then open, 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 and tip a little to one side, a little to the other side, and then press the thighs forward. Lift the head a little bit, press the chest open, 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 open. One more breath, and then inhale it up to the top. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let your feet come together, knees wide apart. You could place a block on the floor for your forehead, and then just come down and rest. Letting the whole body just relax into gravity. Let your belly release. Your lower back release. And then coming back up, let's do a little twist out for that. So, we're going to take the, I'll go a little bit on the side angle so you can see. Going to take the left foot out, pull the right foot in, sit up nice and tall, and then cross the right leg over the left for Marichyasana. You're going to just hold that leg into place and just sit up nice and tall. And then just twist toward the leg, trying to get the knee toward the left shoulder and look over your right shoulder. And let your back be very full. No arching in the back, no slumping. Just nice full back. And then on an inhale, come back to the front. And now use your right hand for balance and your left hand either the crook of the arm to the knee, or if you feel open enough, lift the arm up and bring the outside of the arm to the outside of the leg. And then try to relax the shoulders so you're lifting up with the side abdominals. Slide the right hand a little farther behind you and twist. Nice and straight. And then you could let yourself round the back a little and then use the muscles to lift up tall. And then let yourself round the back a little and lift up tall. Then turn to the side and put your right hand in front of the right hip and then reach the left fingertips to the floor. Some people may be able to get their whole left hand on the floor, but just reach in the direction of the floor and then let that really stretch your back out. And then inhale back to the center and switch to the other side. So bend this leg in, flex the other foot, lift up nice and tall, and then bring the leg across, just holding it with your right hand to steady it. Soften your left shoulder, soften your right shoulder, look over to the left, press down a little with the right heel, nice and easy. And now turn to the side, left hand behind you, either hook the right elbow around your left knee or take the right arm up to the sky and bring the outside of the right arm to the outside of the left leg. Maybe moving this left hand a little bit farther around, lifting up nice and tall, and then maybe relaxing a little and then feel those muscles lift you up nice and tall. Looking over through the corner of your eye, over that left shoulder, pressing down on the right heel, breathing in and out. One more breath, and then inhale back to the front and release it and shake your legs out. And we'll take a little closing And then let the arms come forward. They might rest on the floor. They might rest on your legs. They might rest around your feet. If you're very open, you could bring your feet close together, but try not to hunch the shoulders. You have to hunch the shoulders to move the feet together, then don't. Feel like you're pushing your feet forward and you have a belt right below your belly button, opening you up to the back. So the spine is a nice, gentle curve. And then close your eyes. And each exhale, feel your legs get heavier. And each inhale, see if you can soften and lengthen your back. Exhale, legs heavier. Inhale, soft and lengthen the back. Exhale, legs heavier. Inhale, soft and lengthen the back. And one more. Exhale, legs heavier. Soft and lengthen the back. And then just lightly opening your eyes, let yourself float up. And we're going to do a short Shavasana. If you want a longer Shavasana, just stay here and close the practice on your own. So just come down, lying on your back, wiggling your shoulders side to side, wiggling your hips, bend the knees a little. Get yourself so you're just flattened to the floor. Let the arms be a good distance out to the side so that you have room for your shoulders to open up. And then take a breath in, and as you exhale, exhale through your mouth and let your eyes close. And then take the breath to the back of the body. Start by just relaxing your face. As you exhale, feel your neck relax and the back of your head heavy on the floor. And then take a breath in and relax your chest. And feeling the shoulder blades heavy on the floor. And take a breath in and feel that breath go to the palms of your hands. As you exhale, feel the back of your hand, the back of your arm, deep into the floor. Inhaling, feeling the belly fill with breath. And as you exhale, let the hips and the back release into the floor. And then as you inhale, feel the inside of the legs, be aware of them. And as you exhale, feel the outside and the back of the legs dropping into the floor. And then inhale to the bottoms of the feet. And as you exhale, let the toes relax and the feet and the ankles relax. Breathing up the legs and down. Breathing up from the toes to the waist and breathing down to the toes. Breathing up to the chest and releasing all the way to the toes. Breathing into the top of your head from the tips of your toes and then letting it just slide back down the body. Letting the body just sinking into the ground. Feeling the imprint of your body on the sand. And just softening your breath. You can just continue to lie there. Or if you're ready to come out, you're just going to bend your knees and roll over to the right. Just stay there on your right side for a few breaths. And then slowly use your arms to press you up to sitting. Coming back to your seated position. Maybe the legs are open now enough that you can have heel to your ankle. And bringing your hands to your heart center. Taking the pleasure of your practice into your day, into your home, into whatever's going on in your life. Namaste.